Well, I am mightily surprised, but I'm actually more surprised at how crappy the Bucks defense looks. Because my God, that was a horrific performance by the Bucks tonight. But Bulls win. So the Bulls are 1-1. Sorry, not 8-1. 1-1 to start the season. Just as I predicted. Just definitely not in this way. I thought the Bulls were going to get the Pelicans and lose against the Bucks, but all right, we're 1-1 somehow. So we are officially 1-1 on the season. We got the win against the team we shouldn't win against. But wow, what a heck of a performance tonight by all the Bulls shooters. The Bulls shooters just completely just dominated the Bucks tonight. Wow, but what a hell of a game. So hope you guys had fun watching that. At least, I mean, that was like the definition of modern day basketball and how the Bulls should be playing. And that was awesome. That was actually awesome to watch. So, you know, props to everyone tonight. I don't know what the hell Milwaukee's doing, but they have some serious issues to work out because, dear Lord, did they just not play defense tonight. But this was a serious, like a really good bounce back by the Bulls overall from a lot of the guys that we were all just kind of looking at after that Pelicans game. And Kobe White, you know, goes off and puts up 35. So the ebbs and flows of Kobe White at the end of the day. So now Viper Strike kicked me down. Is it Razi? I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. I do apologize if I'm not saying that right. Glad to see y'all here. I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate the support. I cannot believe what we witnessed tonight. But at the same time, man, oh man, am I questioning the Bucks at this very moment in time. Because Jesus, I don't know what the Bucks are doing, man. I'm gonna be real. Yeah. So, very, very weird. I'm saying it right. Okay, got it. Perfect. Julian Phillips' release is very quick. My favorite part of the win. Phillips looks pretty good. I won't lie. He's not getting enough minutes in my opinion, but he's looked pretty good. So I'm very happy with that 3-point shot he just took and launched it, and he drained it. He missed his other one, but it looked pretty good. So yeah, if he keeps developing, that'd be great. Remember last year, if the Bulls got scored on, they let it get to them, and they didn't bound the ball and get up the floor, and offense slow as hell. Not this year. They get the floor fast. Yeah, I mean, this is the definition of how I want this Bulls team to play. And I'm very happy that they decided to continue to shoot the 3 ball throughout this entire game. The Bucks were actually, and it was actually interesting to watch. So the Bulls only took 7 threes in that first quarter, if you guys didn't know. The Bucks were like really trying to force the Bulls off the 3-point line earlier in the game, and the Bulls weren't taking them. But the Bulls kind of kept up with the Bucks, even though they were scoring a lot of points inside the arc. And I give the Bulls a lot of credit. They kept up with the Bucks, even though they took away the 3-point shot. And then they also weren't deterred from shooting the 3 ball throughout the entire game, and they just kept launching them more and more in the second half. I think I'd have to double check the stats, but I think the Bulls shot more in the second half than they did in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. So this was a very good performance by the Bulls, and just an overall good showing of what you should be doing with this team. And I think a lot of the guys that we were kind of staring at after that Pelicans game were just like, what was that? Like Kobe, for example, had a pretty bad game against the Pelicans. He couldn't hit a 3. Tonight he hit 7, right? And he launched 13 threes, which is great. Patrick Williams had a better game, mostly in the second half, but major props to him for guarding Giannis well, and being a positive impact on the floor, right? That's what we need to see from P. Will. Giddey, I think, early on was not exactly doing the best, but I think in the second half he really showed you that he can still be he was pushing the pace better, he was getting to the basket better, and he had his classic 9 assists, which was typical Giddey. So yeah, this is a better overall look for the Bulls, and this is how they should be playing. Now, I will say, you don't knock down 21 threes on 40 or 45% shooting consistently. That's not gonna happen every single night. And the Bucks, my God, bro, the Bucks decided they're like, yeah, we're just gonna let all the guys shoot the threes tonight, which is just like, what was that? They couldn't find Kobe. I don't know what they were doing, but they lost Kobe like every single time in transition, and he just kept draining the threes. So I have major questions about the Bucks right now because their defense looks tragic at the moment. And I don't know where else their scoring is going to come from besides their big 2, and obviously Middleton's out. But yeah, this is a definition of a modern day basketball win on the offensive end. And I'm happy to see it. I'm actually happy to see it. So even though I'm a person that's like, yeah, I want the pick, I like the fact that we're playing this way is just it gives me just so much more relief about moving forward. So hopefully this continues. You gotta, it's one thing to do it tonight, and then we got that game tomorrow though. Like you gotta go up and put up 43s tomorrow as well. So I think that'll be the bigger true test. But still, we give props to the players tonight, man. This was insane. Did the Bucks forget that DeMar is on the Kings now? That's honestly a really good question, because the Bucks tonight were just like, yeah, we're just not gonna guard the 3-point line, which is just odd. Like, the funny thing to me was just like they didn't guard Kobe. Like they were on to Zach like all night. Like they double teamed Zach a lot tonight, but like they would just like, yeah, we're not gonna guard Kobe. Like I don't understand that. That made no sense, especially after he hit like 4. Like you should probably guard that man. Them giving up the Vooch 3 made a lot of sense. That makes sense for their defense. That's how they typically play. But yeah, I mean, they just decided like, yeah, we're not gonna guard the 3 ball once, even though like Kobe had it going. Jalen Smith hit a few. It was just like, guys. So yeah, I don't know, man. This was a definition of a no defense game, and the Bulls came out on top because of the 3 ball. This is why the 3 ball is a big difference, right? I mean, this is pretty much the difference in the score. This is the reason why it's important to shoot the 3s. So I'm hoping Bulls fans are realizing this and can move forward proudly with how the Bulls play tonight. All downhill after Griffin was like, yeah, I don't understand that Griffin firing. I still don't to this day. I'm gonna be real, man. Yeah, I won't lie. This was I had the Bucks at 3rd, and like I'm just questioning myself now for the standings. Ooh. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. Yeah. Appreciate y'all being here. If you could hit the like button, help me out a lot. I appreciate all the support. Yeah, this is insane. We're gonna break down a lot of stuff tonight. Thinking the game plan worked for them. Yeah, their defense got really good during the 3rd quarter. You're talking about the Bulls defense. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think the Bulls defense was that good in the 3rd quarter. I just think the Bulls just outscored them in the 3rd quarter. They like Kobe got hot. We saw guys just playing faster. Like that to me was the 3rd quarter difference. Like they basically gave up the same amount of points as did in the first half. And I thought the first half wasn't a good quarter or good half defensively. I think the Bulls absolutely sucked defensively in the first half. But I mean, look, the Bulls pretty much gave up 30 points each quarter except in the 4th when, the Bucks kind of gave up. But this is the difference. You outscored them by a significant margin in that 3rd. So hence the difference in the game. Giddey just needs to hit those open 3s. It's night and day for the specific skill set. It really is, isn't it? Yeah, honestly, if Giddey hits those shots, I'm more so just like, I think he just needs to take them. He took those 2 corner 3s in the second half. I thought he should have taken more in the first half, but he just didn't take. But yeah, this was better from Giddey because he shot the 3 confidently, and that's all I can ask for. I just need him to shoot that 3 ball. If he does that, then I'm aware that his 3-point percentage isn't great, but he's got to shoot it first off. It's the only way you're gonna get better. So yeah, if he's shooting it, like, his skill set works, but if he isn't going to launch it, then we know his limitations. Bucks and 76ers are going to underperform compared to people's expectations that forgot the teams are slow and aging 1 each. I think the thing is, though, with the 76ers, like, I have more faith in the 76ers because they have Maxey, and I know Maxey's going to bring it every night. And at the end of the day, Embiid is an offense, right? I will say, though, I am concerned about Paul George. I don't know how he's going to look. But after tonight, man, I don't know what I think about the Bucks. Like, this was bad. I know the Bucks won and beat the 76ers on opening day for them, but that was not a great... they beat, though, Embiid-less and PG-less 76ers. So it's like, I'm not, like... nothing really comes from that. But tonight was a showing, like, their perimeter defense is almost non-existent. I don't know who to trust for them defensively. Like, Lillard's not a good defender. I know Gary Trent Jr. is now on the team, but I don't really trust him. So it's like Taurean Prince, but he's not great. Like, it's just he's not like a great player or anything. So, I mean, the big 2 did their thing tonight, I guess, in terms of points, right? And like these 2 guys put up their usual points, but Brook Lopez couldn't hit a shot. Bobby Portis was kind of okay. but they don't have those good defenders that I'm like used to seeing. And yeah, man, they were struggling mightily tonight. So yeah, they might honestly, the Bucks might be the aging team that their window might be over after tonight. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but if a Bulls team that is like, I have questions about their 3-point shooting, like even after tonight, like I don't know, this is not going to happen consistently. But if a Bulls team that is not great in my eyes is able to put up 21 threes on your head, like on 45% shooting and 50% for most of the game, like I have major questions about your defense suddenly. And I know you have two guys that are great shot blockers, but your perimeter defense looks lost. So it's, you know, it's 2 games, but that is concerning to me for the Bucks. Holy hell. We're dead tomorrow. I also think we're dead tomorrow. Yeah, as cool of a win this is for the Bulls tonight, I think we're dead tomorrow. We're not winning tomorrow. But we'll see. I guess maybe we can outshoot our way to a victory tomorrow. Yeah, what a crazy game. OKC defense too good. Thunder by 30. I don't know about Thunder by 30, but I do think the Thunder win tomorrow, like pretty convincingly. Reminder, this is gonna be a second of a back-to-back. I know Lonzo will be playing, so that does help the Bulls, but after a win like this where you're running up and down the court consistently, I have questions about how you're gonna feel tomorrow. So the Thunder do not play today, if you're wondering. So I think the Thunder are gonna come in pretty fresh off that Nuggets win, which was pretty convincing, even though that they didn't play too great. And we'll see how the Bulls face up against them. But I won't be shocked if the opposite kind of happens to the Bulls, where the threes are rating for the Thunder tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see. Lavush got the threes. He would have slept good tonight if it weren't for the poster of a dunk. Oh my god, bro, that poster. Yeah, so if you didn't watch, Vooch got absolutely posterized tonight. And honestly, I feel bad for him because it wasn't even his fault, you know? So Vooch got posterized by Giannis. And it was because Ayo Dosunmu turned the ball over in the backcourt. And Vooch just happened to be the inbounder, so he's under the basket. And so Giannis comes flying down the middle of the court and just dunks it on his head. Foul called on Vooch. Yeah, I felt bad for Vooch because that's going to be posted everywhere on SportsCenter, on Instagram, on Twitter, everything tonight. So props to Vooch for taking it, but I also feel bad for you because that's not going to feel too great. And yeah, that even though that happened, and the Bulls didn't let the Bulls, you know, they were like, okay, you know what, we messed up, but think a big thing tonight is that the Bulls only had 9 turnovers after what we saw last game, right? With all the turnovers for the Bulls, like that was an insane amount of turnovers for the Bulls last night, or that last game, excuse me. And the Bulls cleaned it up. Kobe had 3. I think 1 wasn't really a turnover because 1 was called a travel that it wasn't, but everyone did their job tonight. But I also will say this, man, the Bucks just don't have anybody that's good at point of attack defense. Like the Bulls guards were willing to they were able to get anything tonight. It just seemed like the Bucks defense was just non-existent. So yeah, good job keeping the ball under control as you should. But at the same time, I don't know if the Bucks defense really was putting any pressure on the Bulls guards tonight. So we'll see how it I think, you know, the Thunder's a bigger test, but yeah, this is pretty good for the Bulls tonight overall. Giannis fired Griffin. Yeah, I don't understand that, Rosny. Yeah, Bucks try to keep the Bulls speed, and they started missing shots and playing stupid in the third. I think the biggest thing that the Bucks weren't able to do well was the Bulls were pushing it even after a made shot for the Bucks. So if you're not aware, by the way, the Bucks shot basically 50% tonight. So like this is the reason why I'm saying the Bulls defense wasn't great. Like the Bucks actually shot it pretty well, like 50% from the field, 120 points with like 2 minutes left to go in the third. That's not good defense. But the Bulls were pushing it hard even after a made shot, and the Bucks just look lost. They're like, I don't know who to pick up, and they're pointing at guys like, you got to pick up this guy, and you saw that the guys just didn't know where to rotate. So I think you're right. Like the speed of the Bulls kind of messed up the Bucks. They didn't really understand how to exactly get back in transition effectively. And so if there is something that I am going to take away from the Bulls that's like them themselves is if they're right, if the guys are playing right, then I think that they have a lot of guys that could put a lot of pressure on the paint. but it's gonna, like, the guys have to be playing correctly, you know, and guys have to be shooting well. Obviously, it helps, you know, when you're shooting really good from 3-point range, because the defense is gonna have to really move, right? What'd you think of the game? I'm happy with how the Bulls played. I'm just really happy that they played modern day basketball. This is a modern day win. This is how you're supposed to play. And I won't lie, man, I'm gonna keep track of Sacramento, because if you're not aware, Sacramento lost their first game against Minnesota. It was a close game, but Sacramento only took 29 threes in that game. So, like, I'm just saying, like, I know I'm not just blaming DeMar, but it is a very different style. Like, I think you can all see it, right? When you have DeMar DeRozan there, like, it's a very different style that you're going to be playing. So I would just much rather just the Bulls just put up 45 threes a night and see what happens, and that's exactly what happened tonight. And I'm very happy that everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do tonight. And I just think that the Bucks defense is non-existent right now. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm not gonna lie. I have major questions about the Bucks moving forward. We're 500 T for the day, yeah. A lot of people put the Bucks high in their season standings. I didn't understand why. Well, yeah, that's me right here, Viper Strike. I'm the idiot right now. I honestly feel like an idiot, because I'm looking at this Bucks team. I'm like, what the heck is happening? Yeah, I'm okay with Thunder by 30. I'll also be okay if the Thunder win by 30. Just get it over with. I look bad today. I'm sorry to say, he did look pretty bad today. I'll miss some open shots that he needs to hit. Still 5 assists and 5 rebounds, but he did look not great. I think the big thing for Isle was his good defense against Lillard. I think that was pretty important in the fourth quarter. But yeah, other than that, he did not look good today. He missed a floater that he should have made also, which I don't know if it was a pass to Jalen Smith, but yeah, he missed some very makeable shots tonight. Bush got let open, and at least he made the right calls there, and then he actually trailing plays at the basket a bit, especially Giddey is growing for him to get some good positioning near. I rewatched the turnovers last game. People actually didn't get attributed them, but he did actually drop several of the passes at turnovers. 3 off Giddey were right to his hands. So the first one, which we broke down, where it was like Giddey, like this is one of Giddey's turnovers. Like, yeah, I think that was more on Giddey, but I do think you're right though that people had some pretty bad turnovers in that game, and it just didn't, get credited to him. But I honestly think that just, I think you can just blame everyone in that Pelicans game. It seemed like no one was on the same page for that Pelicans game. So I'm just gonna blame everybody. Like, I don't want to just like blame just Patrick Williams for that Pelicans game for the turnovers, but I'm just gonna blame everybody for that. And you see that they adjusted tonight. Again, though, bad defense by the Bucks, but they adjusted well. So I'm gonna give them their props. OKC going to love the pace of the Bulls at the moment. I generally might take a fun bet. The Bulls was like 25 to 30 or 25 to 50. Oh wow. I'm personally, I'm not gonna. I don't know about that bet yet. Honestly, just because it is early in the year, and I do think that sometimes teams kind of struggle early in the year, even though they're going to be good. So maybe that applies to the Bucks. Maybe they're just struggling defensively early in the year. But I honestly think that I think OKC's going to win. I don't know if it's going to be by 25 to 50 though, because I think it's just like early season kind of kinks need to be worked out still. They also have some new players that they have to kind of integrate, like Caruso. But hey, I'll see you. I don't bet personally. I don't bet on sports. If I ever went down that rabbit hole, I would never get out of it. So I stay away from betting. I'm confused of the pairing Fox, who plays fast with DeMar. I'm also confused by that pairing. I won't lie. I'm just interested just to watch though, because I do trust Mike Brown. But it's just the way that team's supposed to operate. I don't really understand it. So I'm just gonna keep track of the Kings this year, because so here let's pull this up, because this will be important to look at. Because I don't know off the top of my head how many threes the Kings took last season, which the Warriors are averaging 140 points per game. What the heck? I know it's after 2 games, but Jesus, that's insane. So let's look last year. So last year the Kings. So the Kings were were third in the league with 39.3 3-point attempts per game last season. So this is just something to keep in mind. Again, I'm not trying to blame DeMar for everything, but it is just something just to look at, because the Kings in their first game only took 29 threes. So that's a significant decrease from their typical three-point attempts. And obviously when you have DeMar DeRozan there, you're going to sacrifice some threes for some mid-range shots. So this to me, you know, I don't know, maybe the Bulls like can maybe kind of replicate a game like this from last season, but to me, this is a game that just really can't happen like if DeMar's on the roster. It's a very different game that we saw tonight from the Bulls compared to last season or the last 3 seasons. And I'm not saying that DeMar is the reason why for the Bulls struggles, but I just do think that you will be playing a much slower style with DeMar DeRozan at the helm. And while I respect the hell out of DeRozan, I just would rather play this way personally. This to me is just so much better just to watch, but it's just mathematically it is also just better. And I would just rather put my faith in this sort of play style moving forward for the development of these players than what we did with DeRozan. So I think it's a good bounce back from what the Bulls did against the Pelicans, where they only took 34 threes and only 11 in the second half, which was insane. I was like, you can't stop shooting the 3-ball even if things go bad. Like, you have to continue shooting the threes. And tonight the Bulls kind of started slow from 3, but they picked up the pace very quickly from 3-point range. So let's just I just want to show you, like, right here, as you can see, the Bulls only took 7 threes in the first quarter. So it wasn't like that great initially. But you see, they just started launching them after this. Like, they were just launching these shots, and this is good. This is very good to see. So this needs to continue. If this continues, then I think we're looking better for the future. And I'll have more faith in Billy Donovan and the coaching staff. Jalen surprised me when he helped the Bulls keep the flow going for a few minutes. Yeah, man. And so this is the Jalen Smith that I was hoping to see. So Smith, he had a missed little kind of easy dunk that he missed to kind of start the game for him. I don't remember who passed it to him, actually. It might have been Patrick Williams, but it was a good pass, and he just missed it. He then airballed a 2 that I think was counted as a 3, but then he hit some threes, right? He hit 2 threes. This is the Jalen Smith that I'm used to seeing. Jalen Smith obviously last year had an incredible year efficiency-wise. I don't know if he can replicate that, but he needs to be hitting his 3-point shots because he can run really well. And you can just see, like, 11 points in 14 minutes is good off the bench. Like, that's very solid. And his rebounding has been pretty effective overall. Not amazing in tonight's game, but it's been pretty effective overall. He got into some foul trouble, but other than that, man, like, this to me is the Jalen Smith that I was expecting. And it's just good to see him hit the 3-point shot because we need that moving forward. He just has to hit the threes, because that's going to open up everything else for him. Yeah, Jalen Fish from SpongeBob Smith. I think Terry looked. I won't lie, man. So I was shocked that Terry's even in the rotation tonight. That was shocking to me. I was almost upset about it because I thought that Buzella should be in Terry's spot. And you just moved Phillips up to the 3. But first half, Dalen Terry didn't look too good. He didn't really give much. He kind of looked a little bit lost, and especially defensively, he missed some assignments. But in that second half, he was helping with the run in the fourth quarter, and I give him credit for it. He had that one good strip against Giannis in the first half, so there's that, and I give him some major props for, because that's not easy. But I think in the second half, he just looked a lot more in the flow of the offense. His offense, though, is just not, like, it's just not there. Like, he was moving better within the offense, but, like, he's not gonna go and score. So it's better, I guess, than I expected from Terry, but it's nothing that I'm, like, shocked by or anything like that. And I think that if he continues, I guess, this sort of play, then I can maybe see some sort of, like, weird, like, kind of role for him that's like a hybrid role. But his offense still needs to find a way to, like, get involved. Like, he needs to score the basketball for him to get consistent minutes. I was upset that Buzelis didn't play more. I know that Billy didn't play him at all in the second half because the Bulls were actually winning this game, but he needs to play, man. 8-9 minutes tonight with no Lonzo Ball, that's concerning to me. That to me just shouldn't happen. But I'm not the coach. This continues though, Bulls would be a play-in, so I don't know if better for the future. Well, I'm gonna be real though. I don't like this. Is the reason why I'm saying, first off, the Bucks defense was tragic tonight. I don't know what the hell the Bucks were doing tonight. This was a travesty by the Bucks defense. They should be ashamed of themselves. But also though, I don't think the Bulls are gonna go and put up 21 threes on 45% shooting every single night. Because here's the reality of the situation: the Bulls won this game by, I guess, 11 points, but there was a moment where the Bulls were only up by 4, and Vucevic hit 4 threes, Kobe hit 6 threes, Zach, is having a really good game tonight, and the Bulls were only up by 4. Like, that required, at that moment, like, a almost perfect game from Kobe, a very good game from Zach, Vucevic is hitting his threes, and the Bulls were only still up by 4. Like, that's the reason why I'm like, okay, if 2 of those threes don't go down for Vooch, then they're down. Like, they're not winning this game at that moment, right? And even in this game where it's like, if the Bulls don't hit 21 threes, it's a game, right? So as much as I want to say like, oh yeah, if the Bulls continue to play like this, they'll win 45 games. I don't think that's possible. I think that this was still showing that the Bulls defense is pretty bad. They had some pretty bad moments tonight. I'm going to show you a few clips that Steph Nope kind of clipped together that show like the Bulls defensive communications all over the place. It's bad. And then the Bulls just outshot the Bucks. Like the Bucks decided not to play defense, and the Bulls were not playing defense. So it's just going to come down to who can shoot better. And the Bulls lit up the 3-point line. Well, the Bucks really didn't, right? The Bucks only shot 32% and hit 13 compared to the Bulls 21. So yeah, I think that was just, the main difference. Like they made the same amount of shots, right? As you can see here, they made the same amount of shots. And they also took similar amount of shots. It's just 3-point shot went the Bulls' way tonight. I don't think that's going to continue. Personally, I'm going to hedge my bet that that Vucevic doesn't make 4 threes a night. Like, I'm very willing to hedge my bet on that. And I don't think Kobe's going to make 7 threes every single night either. So, I think there's a better chance that like Patrick Williams like shoots, 2 for 4 every night, and J.O. Smith goes 3 for 5 every night, than seeing some of the other guys, Vooch and Kobe White combining for 11 threes. I think it's a little hard to replicate, but who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. I'll be willing to be wrong. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to continue, but props to them for tonight. I'm happy, with tonight. I will say, I'm like okay with this because I thought the Bulls would start 1-1 this year, with Zion being out against the Pelicans. So we're 1-1. It's just the opposite way around, right? I thought the Bulls win against the Pelicans and lose against the Bucks. Well, instead we won against the Bucks and lost against the Pelicans. So, so we're still 1-1 at the end of the day. So I'm not complaining too hard yet. Even though I want to keep the pick, right? So yeah, I think the big test is coming tomorrow. I won't lie. Tomorrow's gonna be the major test to see what happens. It didn't look bad, partly as it was a run, but any thoughts on why P-Will was in the fast lineup tonight when Ball was out? So I want to talk about that lineup. Like the fourth quarter and the beginning of the second quarter were pretty good lineups in my opinion. I'm happy that Billy Diamond was willing to go to them. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I think P-Will in the first half did not look good. Like he had some nice moments against Giannis, but he dribbled off his foot like 2 times in that first half. But the second half was much better. The second half was just so much better from Patrick, and he just needs to do this consistently, which hence why he played the most minutes tonight out of anybody, right? And as you can see here, Giddey only played 24. So it's just on Pat just to play better, and I'll talk about it because I think he showed in the second half that he played better, and played impactful, which is that's all we ask, right? Let's see here. Only Pistons, Nets, and Wizards gonna be worse than the Bulls. Hornets gonna win some games this year. I don't know, man. I think the Hornets are also still pretty bad. If LaMelo's healthy, then maybe I think you have a pretty good argument, but I question that like immediately. I don't know if LaMelo's gonna stay healthy. I'll be more than willing to be wrong about that though. I would love for the Hornets to be better than the Bulls, so we have a better chance of keeping the pick, but I have my doubts about that Hornets team. That Hornets team concerns me still, unfortunately. The rebound made my day by Pat. Yeah, when he got that offensive rebound, I'm going like this in my living room. I'm like, yay, he did it. This is exactly what we want from Patrick Williams. In that fourth quarter, he got the offensive rebound. I'm like, this is it. This is what we got. This is what we need, man. Like, look, this is to me an example of a game for P. Will where he's not scoring a ton, right? It's 13 points, but he got 3 steals. He had an impactful offensive rebound. He guarded Giannis the entire night, right? This is better. Like, I don't know if this can be replicated by Pat, because this to me is a very solid game overall by Pat, even if the first half wasn't great. Like, can't you go out and replicate this then tomorrow night? Like, I don't know if you can. But this is a good showing, so now go do it more. That's the big question. Can you go do this again? Which is I don't know. I have major doubts if he can go do this again. I still think he did turn down a few threes, but I'm not going to be too nitpicky because he's guarding Giannis all night. The Hornets only got closer tonight because the Hawks rested Daniels for a stretch. Before then, the D of Daniels next to Young had 6 steals for them and blocks, mostly on ball. I won't lie, man. The Hawks might have found something with Dyson Daniels and Trae Young playing together. Like, that might actually be the combo they needed. They thought they were getting it in DeJounte Murray, but DeJounte's obviously more of an on-ball player. They may have found it. I won't lie. Now, for the rest of the team, though, like, Jalen Johnson needs to get better and everything. But, yeah. We'll see with the Hawks. This is the reason why, though, I still said I had the Hawks being a better team than the Bulls this year. I think for now, though, that's still the case. I think the Hawks are 2-0. Actually, I don't even know at this moment, but I'll just get the standings. Yeah, Hawks are 2-0. Okay, so, well, it's crazy to see Philly down here, but obviously they haven't had their best players at the moment, and we'll get in the rest of the games later on tonight. Okay, so I just want to go ahead and just like I want to like make sure I get this in, because I don't want to like always sound like I'm trashing on Giddey, because I know a lot of people are like kind of looking at me like, well, like, you're a Giddey hater. I'm not a Giddey hater. I will say I am very concerned about his future. I don't know how he's going to really work out moving forward, but I'm hoping he works out. I really do. I have my questions. But this was a very good game from Giddey overall. I think a lot of his passes were really showing that his vision is very good. He had that backdoor pass to Zach that was very solid. And even on a miss, Giddey had a cross-court pass to, I think it was to Patrick Williams for a 3. That didn't go down, so it wasn't an assist. But like, that shows you like Giddey's vision. Like, I don't ever doubt Giddey's vision and his ability to get the ball to his open teammates. I think the biggest question, obviously, with him is just his 3-point shooting, which he knocked down 2 tonight, which he needed to take those 2. If he didn't take those 2, I would be screaming at him still. But he took those 2. I think he turned down some 3s in that first half. That wasn't great. The second half, though, he looked better just in terms of pushing the pace, getting into the paint better. And he got, some free throw opportunities, so good for him. If he continues doing that, that's good. But yeah, this was a solid game from Giddey. Nice rebounding. However, I do want to point this out, though. When the Bulls made their run tonight, he wasn't on the floor, right? It was Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu that were out there running the guard positions. With that other lineup of Smith, P. Will, and Dalen Terry, right? So as much as I want to be like, yeah, this is like, great job, Giddey had a great impact on the game, I don't really know how much impact he had on the game. I think he had a solid third quarter that kind of helped him, show like, hey, this is what I can do. And he made some shots in the first half, but props to him tonight. Good game. Now, of course, the obvious question is, can he go do that again, right? And I think that is a fine question for me to ask with them. Hawks team will be much better than the Bulls. Yes, Dyson fits perfectly with Young and might outperform even by playing expectations. Yeah, we'll see. Especially because right now with the East, I don't know about the Pacers either. I won't lie. I think passes will only get better as chemistry increases. The Giddey Vooch connection is something to monitor as well. Yeah. So I do think that Vooch got some nice bucket attempts from Giddey. It's just still, though, I just do question it still, because I think at the end of the day, you're gonna see teams still like basically dare Giddey to score instead of collapsing onto him and opening up Vooch. So I'm just a little bit concerned that it's not going to be there consistently with the Vooch and Giddy pick and roll. But if teams are willing to go after Giddy instead of just daring him to score, then I think it'll be fine. It's just Giddy has to show that he can score in the first place, right? And I think that that's gonna be the question moving forward. And he did that tonight. He did score enough tonight that I think maybe the defense was a little bit scared of him on the interior. So a couple of things that were pretty good. Now I do want. I didn't write. I have some plays in my head that I do need to look at. Sorry. Okay. And then there was another play down. Okay. And okay. Yeah, I have some stuff in mind that we're going to be looking over tonight, and there's a lot that I want to show. So first things first, though, I want to bring up a tweet, because this to me is just going to kind of hammer home that I think the Bulls defense was not good tonight. They just straight up outscored the Bucks tonight. So props to the Bulls for outscoring the Bucks tonight. But let me show you a few plays that I appreciate Steph going ahead and clipping, because I don't have to go and find them in the middle of the game. But this to me was very funny to watch. So let's just watch this play together. I apologize for the quality. Okay, yeah, the best we're gonna get is 720 here. So let's just watch this play together, because I think this is hilarious, what we're about to see. So let's just keep your eye on Vooch on this play, okay? Where's my epic pen? It is gone. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye. So Bulls are in white, so I'm gonna be using the white pen. So keep an eye on Vooch here, okay? I apologize for the quality. It looks terrible, but it's Twitter quality. So the Bulls decided on this play here. I don't know exactly what the defensive coverage is, but it seems like what was supposed to happen was a switch, and Kobe was supposed to go to Lopez, and then Vooch was supposed to take Lillard, which I don't fully understand, but look what happens. Like, look at Vooch right now. Vooch is basically screaming at Kobe, hey, go to Lopez, go, please. And then Vooch basically, he just shoves Kobe. Watch. He just shoves him right there. And like Kobe just gets like whiplashed from Vooch. And you see Vooch is like yelling at him after Lopez made the shot. I don't know what the defense was supposed to be here. Like, this is where I'm like, I'm just as lost as everybody. But to me, this was supposed to be a switch, because it seemed like the Bulls were, if they were worried about the Lopez 3 tonight, and so if there was ever a high pick and roll with Lopez, then the guard's supposed to take Lopez and Vooch will take Lillard, and then the Bulls will figure it out after. But this is just so funny to me that you just see Kobe just get shoved in the back, like, and Vooch is just screaming at him like, "What are you doing?" Like, you completely messed this up. So I don't know whose fault that is, but that was bad. Now this play then also happened, and I'm looking at this play and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I honestly, I think this is on Zach, but I also, I'm very confused, because when you look at this all, like, Phillips is guarding Lopez, you have Vooch, P. Will, and Levine all guarding Giannis. So one of these three are wrong, right? And then Kobe's just like pointing at this guy. So the Bulls defense was just bad tonight. Like, this was just bad defense overall. I don't know what the hell was happening here. Someone very clearly missed their assignment. I'm gonna guess it was Zach, but at the same time though, this was a switch everything defense, and for some, or I guess this is Io. So it's Io, Levine, and Vooch are all on Giannis for some reason. I don't know what happened, but this was just all bad. But you got people pointing in all directions, like, "Hey, what the hell are we doing?" So this is a bad, obviously, layup. And then on this play here, this is an offensive set, but I talked about in the last stream, right, how whenever the Bulls have a person driving hard to the basket, that there needs to be people in the corners, okay? The corners are the driver's outlet pass, okay? This is something that Billy Donovan has very clearly preached about this season, and it's something that I've brought up. It's something that teams do all the time in the NBA, that if you have someone that's driving hard to the basket on this play, then you need guys in the corner, okay? They're the outlet. And so if, let's say, Zach gets up in the air and needs to find someone to pass it to, then he can always look to both corners and know that someone's there, right? It's not necessarily to try to get him open. It's just to make sure that the driver has the outlet. And so if they do collapse the defense, that let's say he throws it to Kobe, then, you know, maybe Io's here and then can swing it over, right? But watch this play. So Zach drives and he has the advantage. Now, he probably should have passed this to Desuma right here. But I understand if he didn't know where Lillard was, so I get it. So then Zach drives hard, right? But you see Kobe moving. Like, this is incorrect by Kobe. Kobe needs to be here. And Pat's fine where he's at. But you see what Zach does. Like, Zach's expecting someone in the corner. And this pass is actually thrown off of Giannis. And but Kobe's supposed to be here. And so even after this play, right, you see Zach point to Kobe, which Stefano points out here. Like, Zach points to Kobe and says, you got to be in the corner. Like, you have to be here because this is important. Like, I need you here. And then even Kobe says, like, my bad. Like, he says, like, yeah, my bad, I should have been there. Like, this is important stuff. So I just want to point this out because Stefano is, like, one of my guys to look up to. He does, like, a really good job of pointing stuff out and, like, doing similar stuff to, like, breaking down film. He obviously doesn't do the streams like I do, but he's one of the best podcasters and writers. So check him out if you haven't already on Twitter. But this is just like I was like, I saw this in the game and I'm just like, well, that's funny. And then Stefano took the time to actually like clip it, and yeah, he does a good job with it all. So I just want to point out that, like, hey, yeah, the Bulls defense had some serious issues tonight. It wasn't exactly great. There are some things that were going on tonight that weren't great. I'm trying to find if there's anything else that maybe defensively. Okay, this is the exact same play that we talked about earlier. Oh yeah, and then this play. So I think on this play, I think Zach might shove P. Will here. Oh no, this is just bad defense actually. There was a play though where I think Zach like shoved Jalen Smith or somebody. It's just because like everyone is not fully in the rotations that they need to be yet. And we're seeing guys saying like, hey, you got to be here, and then they're yelling it, but they're not, the player's not listening to them, and so they're shoving guys just to get guys to the right spots. So I thought that was very funny to look at. So I appreciate Stefano for doing that stuff. By the way, if there's any tweets that come out, let me know. I'm not watching Casey Johnson's Twitter or Will Gottlieb, so please let me know if there is. But as of right now, I don't know anything. So let me know if there is anything that's happening. Kind of love Vooch. Vooch is very limited defensively. I do think that he gets a lot more crap for his defense, which that's the reason why I made it kind of clear on this channel that when I do criticize Vooch, it's actually offensively where I do criticize him a lot. He's limited defensively. I'm very much aware of it. He's not going to be a good defender by any means, but he typically is like usually right on his rotations. He's not always right, but he's typically right. And so I'm not shocked to see him like yell at like people like, hey, you got to be here, or you gotta move, because guys are clearly not in the right spot. And I don't blame him for it, honestly. I should celebrate that Vooch looked like he kind of cared for a rare occasion. Yeah, I do appreciate these guys are trying, you know. I think that, like, I know that these guys are not going out there to lose. Like, if they did that, then they shouldn't be getting paid. These guys are obviously going out to win, so it's their job, and I do appreciate that they're trying. Jen needs 1 million subs. I appreciate it. I don't know if I need 1 million. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, but I appreciate the support. Would you say he's a top 5 center, top 7 at least? I think, unfortunately, with his defensive limitations, he's not top 7. I think he's top 10, but again, he has to be on. He has to hit the 3-point shot. If he's not hitting his 3-point shot, I've said it. He's not a top 15 center in the league if he's not hitting his 3-point shot, because he's not good enough from the inside. So it's all about the 3-point shot for him. Do you think you won't see it? Obviously, but bigs usually gain the most from Giddey playing OKC, as odd as it sounds and all. Made it obviously like his style he sets even indirectly. Well, I think that bigs obviously should love to play with Giddey because he gives them the ball, right? That's something that A lot of guards in today's era don't give the ball to the bigs, but at the same time, though, I do say that you as a big need to also change your game for today's era. So Giddey can get you the ball in the proper spot, so you're not getting the ball in the post, you're not shooting the mid range. You have to be willing to cut hard to the basket and be willing to go in the paint and get the ball there, right? You need to be willing to seal your man down in the paint and completely seal him off and be willing to get up a quick shot. That's the things that I think Vooch still needs to kind of work on with Giddey, because I think Giddey will absolutely give Vooch the ball if he has his man sealed. But how many times have we talked about that? It seems like Vooch never fully seals his man sometimes, where you know, we say he's like, oh, he's so open, he has this small guard on him, but the small guard's playing topside, and if the ball is thrown in there, it's a steal. Vooch needs to actually seal his man to get the ball in the paint. So tonight obviously wasn't really him about scoring inside. It was all about the exterior for Vooch. He was hitting his 3-point shot tonight, so you know, not much to really talk about when it comes to like interior presence, because a lot of his shots tonight, if we're gonna just like go by game chart, right, like a lot of his shots made tonight were all outside the paint. Like it was just everything was outside for Vooch, right? I mean, he made one shot in the paint tonight. So this is where I say like Vooch is limited. Like if he can hit his 3-point shot, then yeah, he's a pretty effective player because he can stretch the floor, and he's a center that's stretching the floor. But if he's not hitting his 3-point shot, he doesn't score inside enough for me to say he's a good center overall. He needs to figure out a way to score consistently, even if it is against like a good, you know, a good shot blocker, because the best score against good shot blockers, still they still score a good percentage of the interior on the interior, right? They don't lose their touch around the rim. He's playing the game plan, yeah, and I do respect that Vooch is buying into the game plan. Like, this is not easy for him. He's running a lot. Like, I see it. He has to take a lot of steps, you know, to get up and down the court. It's going to take a long time for him, but he is buying in. So I do appreciate that he's doing it. My only thing, though, is that I don't know if he's going to hit 4 threes every game. So I don't know how much he can actually buy in, but I do appreciate if he is shooting the ball well, that he is shooting the 3-point shot, because that'll always help moving forward. Most received shots per game might be Cam Thomas on the Nets. Lost boy on D. Yeah, Cam Thomas is lost on defense, but, you know, Bucks have good interior D. They do. They definitely do. But like I said, though, like good centers that score on the interior, like they have good high field goal percentages, right? They always score in the interior no matter who's down there blocking shots, or whoever's the center for the opposing team. It's not like, you know, Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively suddenly just don't make shots against the Bucks, right? And they don't have an outside game. They still make their shots. Obviously, they don't shoot as much as Vooch, but the best of the best still make their shots against good defenders. So I just always bring that up because Vooch's interior percentage is not good enough, in my opinion, for a 7-footer. I didn't even watch, but I see why the Bucks lost. Look at all of the missed threes. Oh, the Bucks didn't shoot amazing, but it wasn't like horrific. Ryan, you should look at all the made threes for the Bulls. Like, just look at this. That's the reason why the Bulls won tonight. The Bulls didn't play good defense, in my opinion. They gave up 122 points. That's not great. You want to know why the Bulls won tonight? They made 21 threes because the Bucks decided not to play defense. Yeah, 21 threes on 45% shooting. That is insane. That is an insane percentage. So, to me, the Bulls will just outshot the Bucks tonight. So props to them. The Bucks, yeah, they didn't shoot great from 3, but they still shot 49% from the field. So yeah. Sorry you weren't able to watch, Ryan, but we have film breakdown now. So you popped in at the perfect time. You're gonna hear a noise. I do apologize if it's loud because this is the recording. Oh, it's muted. Perfect. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring this over for just a second so I don't get copyright striked like I did on some videos or streams of mine. Sorry, I'm trying to find a specific play at the moment. And I'm not gonna put the recording up because I don't want to get or copyright strikes like I did. Okay. Yep. All right. I always want to show you one play that I think the Bulls are kind of doing a little bit, like they're doing more of, just kind of start the year. And I'm happy to see this sort of action. This is actually a miss, by the way, so this is not even a make. But I like this sort of action by the Bulls. I do apologize for the black screen there. So let's watch this. So this was off a Bucks. So the Bucks turned it over. The Bulls didn't get anything in transition initially, so they reset. And so now Kobe has the ball. So this is the lineup out here, by the way, that that kind of played pretty well in the first half, where you had Io and Kobe as the guards. You then had Buzelis and P-Will as your forwards, and then you had Jalen Smith as your center. In the second half, you replaced Buzelis with Dalen Terry. They actually had a pretty good run out there. So let's just watch this, right? So this play here, we see here it's a simple pick and roll, but this is not exactly what I want to point out. Look at what Buzelis is doing here. So on this sort of action, you have Buzelis coming up here as this pick and roll is being set, and you have Kobe coming this way. But this entire point of Buzelis moving up here is to just confuse the defense. Because if you think about it, right, Kobe could potentially, after the screen is set by Patrick Williams, he could come back and then have Buzelis and use the Buzelis screen, right? But the other thing that can happen here is after this screen here, which is very clearly a switch by the Bucks. So you have Kobe's man in right switching out to Patrick Williams. Buzelis can come up and set a screen here, and you know Pat can cut hard to the rim. Pat can flare back out. It just gives Bulls options, right? And you can see here, even in just this little action, the Bucks are hella confused. This is where I do think it's a little bit of a bad defensive moment by the Bucks, because AJ Green is like trying to get back to Patrick Williams, and DeLon Wright is trying to get back to Kobe when they just should have switched. But still, though, this is giving a lot of pressure though for the Bucks defenders to kind of figure out what's happening, because suddenly now there's a third guy here that is potentially a screener, and the Bucks have to cover up for him as well. What this also does, though, if you're not aware, this actually kind of puts three guys in like one spot of the floor. So if there is at any point the defense does collapse, right, then you have two shooters in the corner. It's hard for the defense to recover. And so this right here, I think it was just a good showing of how the Bulls are kind of like using the middle of the floor a little bit better this year, and having a better action to kind of make the defense have to really think about what they're doing. Make the perimeter defenders really have to kind of figure out who they're guarding all at once. And so you can see here, just even like look at this here. Connaughton's all the way in the paint right now. Like he's not even paying attention to this. So Kobe shoots this shot, but as Kobe is about to launch this, right, like you can even see like there was basically only one guy guarding Buzelis and Patrick Williams, right? So this was kind of like, you know, maybe not the best shot by Kobe, but he was obviously hitting his threes tonight, so I'm not too concerned. But this is kind of what we're looking at in terms of better overall play by the Bulls and better sets. And I thought this was just good to point out. Just to start off, just to show like, hey, the Bulls are using the middle of the floor better. They're kind of running like sort of Spain action that's like really effective for trying to get guys open for a potential 3-point shot, or just make the defense just have to like switch really fast, and it gets guys off balance pretty quickly. All right, and then I want to show you another play here, and I have ideas in my head, but I don't fully remember everything. Okay, so there's that, and then there was a play in the third that I thought it was 259. Maybe this is Vooch missed shot. That's not it. Sorry, hold on. I'm watching this play here. Okay, we'll just break down this play just because I think it's a good thing to look at. So this is another missed shot. I'll get to actually some made buckets here. I do want to show like a Jalen Smith play, but so this is another missed shot for the Bulls. Why isn't this playing? we're gonna roll it back. Okay, so let's keep an eye on Zach initially here. So this is a set that the Bulls have been running a lot for beginning of sets. So you have someone come down, set a down screen for Zach to come up. Zach has the ability to go back door if he wants to, but in this play he decides just to come to the ball, and so he comes up. Now this is a missed shot, but let's watch this entire time. Let's just keep an eye on what DeSumo is doing and what Vooch is doing and how Phillips moves as well. So everything in my opinion was really good. I think this is good. This is better action by the Bulls. So this right here is a little rip screen by Vooch, and so now DeSumo's going to run towards the paint. This potentially could be, you know, a darted pass into the paint. I don't think Zach would do this. It's a hard pass. So then now DeSumo went down, and now he has to clear out, right? And so after the rip screen, Vooch is going to come up here, set a screen for Zach. Look at how much space this has created, though, for Zach and Vooch to run the pick and roll. Okay, this is a big point. This is the big point about this whole play. Is just we're just gonna do this consistently. And so now with Zach, right, he got the screen. I'm happy he took this because Brook Lopez is nowhere to be found right now, and you can see that there's no one else for the Bucks anywhere close. Right, this is exactly what we want to see in terms of how we get good pick and roll action at the top of the key. Zach misses this shot. That's fine. Also, by the way, if you weren't watching, Io cleared out, and then Phillips moved in with the shot. So good here. And so Phillips gets the rebound. Now this is where I will say this is interesting. So in my opinion, Vooch should have shot this, and if he didn't shoot it, he needs to then throw it to Io, but he didn't. But you see what happens when the Bulls turn down a three. This is what happens. So Vooch then doesn't take this. This is open, but it's a bad pass. So right idea, not good execution. And then we post up Vooch, and you're posting up against Giannis, and it leads to this. So like obviously I just want to show you like good action initially, but then on the rebound it's like we got to get to the 3-point shot quicker off the offensive rebound, and we settle for a Vooch post up. That was just like, oh my god. This is the reason why though I'm like, I don't want Vooch on the interior, like posting up on the interior at all, because he doesn't make these shots. I know Giannis is a great defender, but Vooch misses these shots quite often. And hopefully I just don't want to keep seeing that, honestly. It's a little frustrating every time I do look at that, where it's like I think we could get a really good shot out of this, and we settle for a Vooch post up, which I know Vooch, that's just what Vooch does. Like he thinks it's a good shot, but it's, you know, it's not ideal. What's going on, Law Mob? Oh my god, I haven't seen you in here in a little bit. How you doing, man? Have you been watching the Bulls games at all, Law Mob? Or are you one person that's been affected by the antenna switch, which has been killing a bunch of people at the moment? Either way, though, good to see you in here. It's been a while since you've been in the chat, but I'm glad to see you here. Go Bulls. Have you been able to watch Law Mob, or do you have the antenna issue going on? I've been watching. Okay, good. Yeah, man. Crazy win tonight. Was not expecting this win tonight. But I am a person that's trying to keep the pick, so it's like not amazing for my overall goals, but still pretty good win. I'm just happy at how the Bulls are playing. They're just playing so much better. It's a modern day basketball team suddenly, and it's just good to witness, you know. And I hope we continue to witness stuff like this. I didn't either. Yeah, like this is crazy to see that they're finally like playing modern day basketball for once. Yeah, it's great. They actually have an offense now. Yeah, we'll see. I did say the Bulls would be better offensively this year. I didn't say a lot better though. I said like they'd be a little bit better in terms of points per game. So yeah, we'll definitely see how good they actually are at the end of the day. But yeah, Zach is looking really good. Yeah, I mean, I think if there's anything like from the first two games is that, well, if you're trying to get Zach off the roster, I mean, like 2 great games in a row, at least I guess. Good first game, really good second game. So I'm hoping that this is seriously raising his trade values so that teams are looking at him like, hey, yeah, look, when he's healthy, he is one of the most efficient scoring guards in the league. That's just facts. And especially now in a up-tempo type offense, like this is this is just great. This is gonna fit him perfectly. And I hope to see more of it from Zach. But yeah, I don't know how much teams are really looking at him right now. But hopefully they're seeing that if he's healthy, he's still very good. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to run a system that works now. It's honestly, it's just shot selection, right? I think the ball movement is also a lot better. But yeah, like this is truly, it's all about shot selection at the end of the day. Making sure you're taking efficient shots. Shoot the 3 ball when you're open. Like it goes a long way. It really goes a long way when you shoot the 3 ball when you're open. And I don't know if people really recognize that. And I hope Bulls fans do recognize it. I know a lot of Bulls fans are like, it's too many threes, but I'm like, stop. It's not too many threes. 47 threes is a good amount. I hope we see more, honestly. Oh, that's actually a play I wanted to show you guys. I need to find it though. I don't want to. Ah, God, I don't remember the play. Crap. There's a really good play that was between, it was between Zach and Giddey that I thought was like awesome, like 2-man action, but it didn't result in anything good, and I don't remember what it was now, like, or where it happened. Yeah, so just to give some props to Giddey, because I have been harsh on him, but this is an example of what I've been happier about with Giddey. So right here, like, this is a spread floor, right? This is kind of setting up as a potential, hey, Zach can go back door, which we're gonna see later, which I can show you. But this is a spread floor for Giddey, so he kind of has whatever he wants to do in this sort of possession, and so he gets past Torian Prince, and so Gary Trent's not going to come off Zach, obviously, because it's Zach. And so Giddey just has a wide open lane, and so he recognizes Brook Lopez and he shoots the floater, which is good. This is good recognition and good job of shooting the floater instead of trying for the layup, right? Because if you go for the layup there, it gets blocked immediately unless you're passing it down to Vooch. Which, you know, I don't know if you wouldn't in that situation. They're not just standing around looking lost anymore. Yeah. It's like they were playing with direction. They have a goal in mind. Last year, offense was random. So, like, yeah, it's a hard thing to kind of describe, because I do think that there is a thing called, like, you become too predictable in the offense, where it's like guys could be moving all over the place, but you're too predictable. Like, you know where guys are going. And so I do think randomness in the offense is good. However, randomness in the offense where it's like, it's kind of on the fly randomness where guys really don't know what exactly to do. And you're kind of like, I don't want to say panicking, but like, you're really trying to get things together quickly, and random shots kind of go up. Like, that is obviously not great. I do think that is like the bad type of randomness, but like, you do want randomness in an offense to catch the defense off guard, because like, you can move all over the place, but if the defense knows what you're doing, then it's ineffective. But yeah, I think this is a better overall flowing offense where you see guys that they're looking to shoot the 3 ball. I'll even show you a play where in the third quarter here, Lob Mob, that, like, I know a lot of Bulls fans, for example, hate this shot by Zach, but for me, I'm like, this is great. I think this is a very good play. Actually, this might, I'll have to look at this in a second here, but here, I'll go to where Zach makes his 3-point shot, where I know a lot of Bulls fans are like, what the hell, this is not a good shot. To me, when I watch this play personally, so let's just watch this, okay? If it would show up. So rebound, and we're off, right? Zach gets the ball. So right here, I don't exactly know who this is. I think it's Gary Trent, but this is a small little thing that the Bulls have implemented this year, where if the ball's coming up on this side of the floor, then there's a guard that's coming up here to set a screen. And if the defense doesn't play this correctly, which, watch what happens here, okay? I'll even extend this a little bit, and I'll go back to show it. Where, like, I'm just gonna show you where Lillard doesn't play this screen right. So Lillard's gonna be involved in the screen and roll where the Bucks are about to switch this, right? You see Gary Trent's about to take Io, but Lillard's so far back, and Zach's just like, okay, yeah, I'm shooting this then. Like, to me, this is not a shot last season, and this is the sort of mentality you need to have when you're playing like this, because to me, that's a Steph Curry like shot, if that makes sense. Where Steph is just, he sees the defense is too far back, a simple screen and roll happens with the guard, right? And if the defense doesn't play him correctly, he's gonna make you pay. And I think the Bulls, for the most part, again, there's some players that have not fully bought into it yet, but for the most part, they've seemed to have gotten the idea that if there is ever a point where they're open from 3-point range, they can launch it. And I'm glad that they feel confident enough to do so, because I know that we've been talking about the catch and think players a lot, and P. Will still has those moments, but it just seems like, you know, Kobe and Zach are just kind of launching them whenever, and that's good. Like, whenever they think it's a good time to go ahead and shoot that, like, even if it is a big moment, like, I don't even care if it's a big moment. Like, if you're open and the defense gives you the space, then you go ahead and launch it. It's not a bad thing at the end of the day. Sorry, I'm trying to find this one play that it might have been in the first quarter, man. But here, hold on. I'm so sad I didn't write this down. I make mental notes, and then, like, sometimes I'll write stuff down in the middle of a game, but I can't always. But there's a play that I was very happy to just witness, because I think it showed a good example of how the Bulls can use Giddey maybe more effectively with maybe someone like Kobe, and obviously with Zach is pretty effective. Readiness with philosophy is a goal. They didn't seem to have philosophy before. Yeah. And you're gonna get turnovers off the randomness, right? Which is fine. Like, I think Bulls fans need to just kind of deal with it, but the Bulls did a good job with the lack of turnovers tonight, overall. Okay, so let's just watch this play. So I will say, I'm going to give Giddey credit for this play. I do think that he didn't shoot the 3-ball when he should have. Okay, so let's just watch this play. Go ahead and roll. As this has been kind of it's a similar set, right? So, like, you still have Vooch here, you still have the shooter over here. Giddey brings it up, and you still have the power forward or whoever it is, and then Zach's over here. Now, instead of P. Will setting a screen for Zach to come off of, you're just going to see Patrick Williams come up here to catch the ball initially. Okay, so very similar set. Now, after Giddey throws the ball to P. Will, you're going to see a rip screen for Giddey to go down this way. Okay, and so now it's a pick and roll between Patrick Williams and Nikola Vucevic. Okay, Giddey obviously is moving. Zach decides to move up, but then just keep watching this play, right? So this really wasn't the idea of, like, oh, we're gonna have Patrick Williams try to initiate everything. We're gonna give the ball to Zach. But you can see right here what this did is that this is a switch, right? So the Bucks defense now it's a little bit disjointed, because now you have Brook Lopez on Patrick Williams. Okay, so that's good. So now, right now, we have what we want. Okay, so this is the center, right? Instead of them guarding Vooch, the center is now on Patrick Williams, who's a perimeter player. Okay, so you got the switch that you wanted. So now you're gonna put Brook Lopez in a much tougher pick and roll situation, because now instead of him guarding Vucevic, he's now guarding Patrick Williams. Okay, so now it's a pick and roll between Zach LaVine and Patrick Williams. So good luck trying to guard this, right? If you're Brook Lopez, because now you're guarding a much, like, faster, shorter player than Nikola Vucevic. So again, if you're paying attention, Giddey cleared out. So now Giddey's in the other corner. So this pick and roll happens, right? And look what happens with the defense. So right now, this is good for the Bulls, because Zach's, while he is going into Brook Lopez is up in the pick and roll action. If Zach was able to get past Brook Lopez, then the shot blocker, it would be Bobby Portis, and he's not a shot blocker, right? So this is good overall. But Zach gets kind of doubled here, right? Which the Bucks were doing a lot of tonight. And so he passes off to Patrick Williams, okay? And now, even better is that still Brook Lopez was up on the action. So instead of this being Brook Lopez is here. So this Brook Lopez wouldn't be able to come over and block Patrick Williams' shot here. Now, the defense does a good job of collapsing. This is Taurean Prince coming down and completely shutting this off. And so Hero does the right play and kicks this back out to Josh Giddey in the corner. Now, at least in my opinion, Giddey needs to shoot this. These were the shots that Giddey was taking and making in the second half. I think Giddey needs to personally shoot this. Obviously, though, I shouldn't talk too much crap because he did, fake it, and then he did float it over Brook Lopez and made the shot. I just don't know if that's going to be consistently there because I won't lie, I don't know what Taurean Prince did after running out to Josh Giddey on that play. It basically was just like, I give up. I'll just let him go. And so Giddey had a line drive and just kind of was able to float it in. But in my opinion, he needs to shoot this. So good job making the shot that you did eventually take, but he needs to make the shot. He needs to just shoot the three ball, in my opinion. Even if it doesn't go down, I think it's a fine play at the end of the day. I'm very sad, though, that I cannot remember this play with Zach. And it might be this play that I'm just pulling up right now, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, that is not the play. Sorry, hold on. No, that's sorry, I'm just quickly scanning through the film, but I'm not currently seeing it right now, and I do apologize. I know it's in the first half. Sorry. That's Zach getting the post up on whoever, and then this play. Okay, so I will show this play that I'm currently looking at right now on my screen. Just to show like kind of what Lob Mob was talking about with like philosophy. With this team. So really quickly here, when it comes to like philosophy or just overall like what is the goal of the offense, so this is a transition play for the Bulls, and you can see here Kobe's like pushing it hard in transition. Unfortunately, you can see the Bucks got back in this one, so he wasn't able to keep pushing it. So right here right now is where this is a lot in terms of what happens. Like this is going to show you if this is a good offense or not. For a lot of teams, because this is what we call like, okay, transition didn't work. Can you get something in the secondary, as Candace Parker likes to say? So the secondary would be like if Vooch came down and shot a three, right? And so you can see here, Kobe's like, okay, nothing's here. I can't get anything out of this. He pulls it back out. Nothing really in the secondary either because everyone's back. So now it's okay. We got to reset quickly. There's no play, right? So what do we do? And so the Bulls did a good job here, where you see, like, Zach's like, okay, Kobe's going to come back out. I got to move here. But the biggest thing is, I'm going to pause it in a moment. But right here, right, this is after the Bulls tried to get a fast break attempt, and they didn't get anything, right? But right here, look at where everyone is. Like, this is, to me, this is great, right? The Bulls were able to, after a failed fast break attempt, they were able to immediately, with 17 seconds left in the shot clock, get into a 5-out set, right? This is what the philosophy is. This is immediately, it's like, oh, okay, the fast break attempt didn't work. 5 out, go. Like, automatically, this Bulls team was able to figure out a set immediately after Kobe had to pull it back out, and they're running 5 out, which is great. Like, no one's out of position. No one's, like, in the middle of the lane here, and no one's standing, like, in, like, here or anything on the elbows, right, and clogging up the spacing. Everyone was able to just get into a 5-out set, and so look what it does. So Kobe gets the ball back. It's he rejects the screen from Vooch. And now suddenly you got everybody collapsing for the Bucks defense. Okay, you have Torian Prince coming, you have Brook Lopez who's guarding Vooch coming in, and then you have Giannis also coming off of Phillips. So you're collapsing the defense in a 5-out set. This is exactly what the Bulls want, right? And so you see here, Kobe drew 3, right? Now Gary Trent has a decision to make. Does he run to Julian Phillips and then give up the Zach LaVine 3? Or does he just stay with Zach? And he makes the right decision here, which is just stay with Zach and close late to Phillips, and he misses it. But still, though, like you're seeing how good this Bulls team has worked out, like their sets, right? They're like, oh, okay, secondary transition didn't work, right? You immediately go to 5-out, and they didn't get anything. They didn't score, but they got a really good shot out of it. And I'm just proud of how much this team is like coming, like just a preseason in terms of, hey, yeah, let's all just go 5-out and try to get a 3-point shot up, and kick out to the corners whenever we think that someone's driving hard. We have guys in the corner, so this is good. We're seeing good stuff from this team. I'm gonna very quickly try to find this little set that I want to see between Zach and Giddey, and I'm thinking it's in the first quarter, which I cannot believe, but give me a second here. Was it early on in the game? Was it really that early on? And I'm just stupid. Okay, hold on. No. Sorry, I do apologize for this. I'm trying to find this one play, and I'm very upset that I didn't write it down. Because like nothing came from it. Um, like this just shows like I just want to show these things because like sometimes people just look at highlights and like, oh, how are things doing? But like there's a lot that does happen for the Bulls, or like for teams that's like, hey, this wasn't in the box score, like this didn't result in anything in like a shot made or whatever, but like it's a good play at the end of the day. And you're like me as a player that, or not player, a person that loves these sort of things. Like I want to see more of it. It sucks though because I just cannot find it. I'm like very quickly scrolling through, so of course I'm not gonna really have a good shot of finding it, but I'm doing my best here. No. Ooh. Oh wait, no, this was it. No, this was not it. Oh my god, hold on. Giddey comes up, bro. Nope, this is not it either. It is something though I will show just to maybe as like an idea for the Bulls moving forward. Um, yeah, I'll just show the play anyway. Okay, so let's watch this play because this to me is very interesting. From the perspective of a person that I do have some questions about Giddey, and like if he's the main ball handler and like running the pick and roll action, like how is this gonna work out? But let's just watch this play because this is actually a reverse pick and roll, honestly. So Giddey brings it up, he throws it to Kobe, and then we're just gonna run like dribble weaves. So here Pat's gonna come up and he's gonna throw it to Zach. Now, okay, pay attention to the set here. So we have Vooch in the corner, right? This is a spread floor. And And so Kobe and Pat are going to be spread out. But instead of this being, Giddey running the pick and roll with the ball in his hands, we actually have a pick and roll between Zach and Giddey, but Giddey's a screener. So it's a reverse pick and roll. So this was the idea. Now this is where I do think that the Bucks were seriously like this. This is a trap on Zach, by the way. Like it's a straight up blitz. And so it's hard. And so Zach does get the ball to Giddey eventually. But this is where the Bucks were just like they're on top of Zach, but Zach still got his points today. And so it didn't work out. And so it's resorted then to this pick and roll, which is not great in like the side. You're wondering like this is not amazing because it's easier to rotate in and recover from. But you do this pick and roll. This is kind of where the Bucks were doing a good job of like we're gonna run the guys up the 3-point line. Like, as you can see here, like Kobe's about to shoot this three. Giannis just runs him off and he shoots the mid-range floater. He doesn't make it. Excuse me. But this is where early on the Bulls weren't shooting threes, but it's because the Bucks were not letting them shoot the three. Honestly, they were really like running them out the 3-point line. Yeah, I'm so upset I can't find this one play, but it's okay. I'll live. Unfortunately though, but basically what I was trying to show a play. Where we see it's basically just Giddey and Levine working together at the top of the key, and you see Giddey kind of basically like just hand the ball off to Zach, and Zach gets ahead of steam and is able to like attack the basket really quickly. I know it was in the first half because I know that Zach was shooting on this like towards this hoop, but I don't know what it resulted in. Like he definitely passed the ball. I just don't know what it resulted in. So I'm just upset that I can't find it. So I do apologize for it, but I'll live. That I can't figure it out what exactly it is. All right, and now I do want to go ahead and show you Jalen Smith because I do think he needs a shout out here because he's had some ups and downs, but I'm a guy that's pretty high on Jalen Smith, and if the Bulls do have a center that is able to shoot like how Jalen Smith does shoot efficiently off the bench and obviously can run really well, like I think we're looking at a good spot for the future for our center position. And so I'm sorry, I'm trying to find specific plays. So that's the 3-point shot. Okay, and then 26 feet, and then we need to go to the other one. Cool. Yeah, okay. So it's not a lot, but basically what this is going to show you is we're just going to keep an eye on Smith this entire possession. But him playing the center position, I'm backing it up. Sorry, I apologize for the black screen. But basically what this does show from Smith is like he has this good awareness of like, okay, if this guy has the ball, then where do I need to go? So like right here, like you see that he's just going to go play baseline. That's fine. Because like the action is not on his side, but as soon as the ball is then swung over to where the action is on his side, right? Now this is the strong side, so he's on the strong side of the floor with the ball. He recognizes pretty quickly, like, hey, I can't play here anymore because if Buzelis does drive, then he's driving right into Portis. So Smith moves to the corner. It's nothing special, right? But this is good. This is just good awareness, and so Buzelis does drive, and Smith moves, and so now Smith is out in the corner, hence then this 3-point shot is made. Smith did a really good job with the Pacers of shooting in the corner, so if he keeps getting those types of shots, it's a good thing. Move forward. What's going on, Rob? You showed nice decoy plays where Giddey hit Zach one time and another they overplayed Zach and Payne. Giddey hit Kobe for 3. That was nice. Oh, okay. We're talking about the same play. Yeah, I can't find the play, Rob. I'm pissed at myself right now. I don't know where it went. because so like Zach checked back in here, and so this is him and Giddy are playing right now, in this sort of thing. So I don't know where it went. Yeah, you're gonna have to help me figure it out. I don't know where exactly it is, but I'm still like quickly like searching through my recording, and like I don't see it. Yeah, like Zach's not even. Hold on, sorry, I'm not even here. I'm not even at the right spot yet. Okay, so Zach just checked in, and so now it's this pick and roll play. That's not it. Yeah, I know his first half. I just can't find it for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I'm actually like double checking that it wasn't Kobe, and it's not. Like I'm like looking through. Yeah, oh my god. Here, I'll very quickly look at the first quarter again. But I don't know what it would have been. Like I'm actually just lost. Okay, whatever. Okay. Well, no, it's not this one where it's running layup. This is where Zach posted up. This is where Zach posted up in transition. I can even I'll show you this play. So if you're wondering about like, oh, is it this play where it says like Zach running layup or whatever? I don't think Zach scored off of it. I'm being real. Sorry for the weird screen, but so here, Giddy got the rebound, he pushed it, and you see Zach posted up Lillard, and then Giddy just gave it to him, and so just gave it, and Zach just ran it in. So, but that's not what I'm talking about though. There's a play that was a half court set. No, yeah, I'm showing. Oh, you're behind, Rob. I forgot. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that was the play that you're talking about. That like this play, this thing that I'm highlighting right here is the play I just showed. Yeah, okay, whatever. I can't find it. Was it actually third quarter? I'm just losing my mind. No. And then I know this is the back. This is the screen set by Vooch play. Okay. Well, let me show you a play though. I guess we could finish off this film session by showing you a play where I think this is where Giddy has like this is where he improved in my opinion. In terms of pushing pace. So I've said it pretty consistently that Giddy's job with this team is that he needs to push pace. And this play right here, in my opinion, is a, or was it actually this play? No, it wasn't this play. Hold on, let me find the other play. Let's see. It was here. Actually, let me go to here. 536. So let's watch this. So, I'll back it up. Just yeah, I knew the black screen was gonna happen. So, Gary Trent is gonna miss this shot here for Milwaukee. I'm pausing it just to make sure the bot doesn't hit me. But you see here, Zach closes out good. This is a good contest. Miss. Okay, Giddy is gonna get the ball from Vooch, and right here, right, this is an example of pushing pace. Sorry, I'm delaying ads. Sorry. this is a prime example of pushing pace with Giddey, where he could just walk this up, honestly, and just kind of like roll through the set, but he recognizes, okay, Brook Lopez is here. If I could just push pace right now, Brook Lopez is not going to be in a good spot to come over and like block my shot or be able to contest the rim. And so this is where Giddey has to recognize push pace more, because if at any time you can play a team like play faster against a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, who have a very good rim protector like Brook Lopez, or obviously Giannis is good as well. But it's everybody, right? Like any team that's a good rim protector. If you can find a way to push tempo so you don't have to face them in the half-court defense, this is good. And so Giddey is able to, like, he recognized this time, like, Brook Lopez is up high. Let me just charge down, get past Torian Prince, because he's gotten past him all night. And just get to the basket and get fouled. Like, this is where it needs to, like, this is where Giddey needs to, like, recognize it consistently. And I think in the second half, it was a lot better compared to what we saw in the first half, where the first quarter, the Bulls were not playing fast enough, in my opinion. They were fine overall, but I think they would have had better chances in the first quarter if they just pushed the pace better. So I'm being hypercritical of Giddey, but this is something that I've been saying from the start. Like, he needs to be able to push pace like this consistently. It's not always going to result in him obviously getting free throws, but if he's able to just put a lot of pressure on the defense to collapse the defense and kick it back out, he's done his job. It's just all about recognizing it and obviously willing to do it, because I think we've seen at times with this Bulls team where some players aren't willing to push the pace when they need to. That needs to be a culture shift, because you go watch the Boston Celtics. Like, the Boston Celtics will absolutely just run down the floor whenever they think they can get an easy layup. The Milwaukee Bucks are also pretty similar in a sense, and we even saw it today where the Bucks were running down the floor against the Bulls, and the Bucks put up 122 points on us, right? Yeah, it's all just a mentality, and the Bulls, they just have to continue doing what is necessary. So, if you're wondering, also, by the way, the Bulls did not score any points in the paint, which makes a lot of sense. This Bucks seems very good at defending the paint, but their perimeter is just all. Their perimeter defense is very much in question at the moment, but they got the 17 fast break points, so that's a good overall thing from the Bulls. All right, so anything else that we need to go ahead and kind of look over here? Yeah, obviously, I haven't watched much of Giddey's 3 years playing for OKC. Is much better than you realize. I mean, what is he better at than I haven't said that he's good at, though? Like, I've talked about how he's an incredible passer. His vision's off the charts, but we've consistently talked about it on his channel that he has had his struggles, right? His scoring is inconsistent. He's not a good finisher at the rim. He's not consistent. So what am I missing? I'm also aware he's a fantastic silent out of bounds passer. I've also made a YouTube video showing all of Giddey's strengths. So, sure, you can accuse me of saying that. You can go ahead and accuse me of saying that I haven't watched enough of Giddey in OKC. Fine, go ahead. But then I dare you to go ahead and try to argue against what I've been saying this entire time. Because I think I've been pretty fair overall. Sorry, hold on. No, hold on, Rob. Here, the Raz. I don't know how to say your name, but you can go ahead and say, like, yeah, I haven't watched enough of Giddey's time in OKC. That if you think I'd be hypercritical of him, fine. But I took the time, man. Like, this isn't just me like just blabbing out of like I didn't watch film and I'm just making stuff up. I've legitimately taken the time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, go ahead and watch this vid, and come back to me if you want. And you can still accuse me, and that's your opinion. But the one thing that I will not, like, I'm gonna always like fight back hard about, like, you can, like, everyone can have their opinions about things, but if you're gonna ever accuse me of saying that I'm not watching enough when I'm on here streaming and breaking down film for you guys, consistently doing this stuff, like, I always then say, where's your film breakdown? Where's your time of actually showing that, oh, hey, I've taken the time to really watch this sort of stuff? He's improved every year. Like, that in itself is just false. He did not improve in year 3. I'm just saying he's young and people have been way too harsh on him. He's improved every year, but he didn't improve in year 3. He improved in year 2, but he didn't improve in year 3. He played worse in year 3. Obviously, he was in a different role, but there was nothing in his game that was better in year 3. And so, look, I think I've been pretty nice overall when it comes to Giddy. There are people that are absolutely massacring Giddy, but I've been pretty in, like, I've said it. They're the two ends of the spectrum. There are people that are like, are like all about like Giddy's gonna be the future of this franchise, and they're like the Giddy apologists. But then there are the people, in my opinion, that have been absolutely massacring the dude, that it's almost like he can't walk around Chicago at the moment. But I think I've been pretty like in between. But from what I've said from preseason and what I've said from these 2 games, I think I've been pretty fair overall. Play him out last year and he's dealing with a lot of off-court issues. I mean, I'm aware he dealt with all those things, yeah, but you made a statement though that was false, right? Like, he didn't play better last year. So I'm just pointing that out, because you're gonna tell me that I'm not watching enough of what Giddy did with the Thunder, but then you also then tell me something that's not right. I think I've been pretty fair with Giddy. I've been kind of like, I've been leaning towards like not being a fan of him, but I've been saying that it's on him to show out and go out and like score 18 a night. Like, show that you can go out and consistently score 18 a night so that I can trust you with the ball in your hands. But if you're only going to score 16 points per game on not great efficiency and you can't shoot the 3 ball, I don't care how good of a passer you are. You're not going to have the ball in your hands moving forward. That's the reality of the situation when it comes to Giddy. So it's on him. Everything's on him in terms of how he's going to, like, for his future, whether it's him being the franchise star, him having at least part of like the keys to the engine, right? Or him being a role player. It's on him. It's all on him. But I've said from the first game, where I broke down stuff from the first game, that he turned down 3-point shots that he needed to take. In this game, I thought in the first half he wasn't doing a good enough job pushing the pace, but he made shots at the rim, which are a struggle for him. So props to him. I give him major props for that. That what I just showed you here in this specific play, where I'm talking about him running down the court, right? Where I recognized that he saw the big man and was like, oh, okay, this is a time for me to push the pace. He needs to do that more consistently, because that to me is a spot where he can go and manufacture points. But in my opinion, he has not done that consistently enough with this Bulls team just yet. It's 2 games, sure, but I'm also going to be fair about these 2 games where I think that he has not done something consistently. I'm going to call it out. Because if you're wondering about like, if you're going to question my whole ability, like if I actually watched Giddy's time in OKC, I mean, in my opinion, this is a prime example of what Giddy did at OKC right here, which is that he uses his downhill speed to get an advantage on his defender, right? Giddy's not, he's not by any means the most athletic. He's not going to jump the highest. But the one thing that he is able to do is he has been able to, in OKC, he's done this a lot, where he uses his downhill speed to get a step on his defender, right? So this is, to me, I think this is a showing that I did watch Giddey's time in OKC, where I knew that he was able to take his defender where he thinks, oh, they're up higher, I'm near half court, I can use my speed to try to get a downhill advantage and get a step on them, and then try to use my length to finish over them. This is a prime example of it. This is just a perfect example of what I've seen him do before, which is why I'm saying he needs to do this more. Because if Torian Prince can't stay in front of you with your speed, then why aren't you doing this consistently then? It's just a question, you know? So yeah, he had a nice game tonight. I'm not here to say that like, oh, he didn't play well. No, he had a nice game tonight. I'm just being critical of him because, again, he's the one that wanted the spotlight. He's the one that asked for the spotlight. He's the one that said, I do not want to play off ball next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I do not want to come off the bench. I want to have the ball in my hands. So I'm just saying, okay? I'm not trying to be harsh on you, Raz, and like, I'm not like trying to be like, I'm not trying to say I'm better than you or anything, but the one thing that whenever it's come down to when someone says like, I don't think you've watched enough, or like you haven't done your research on a player, on the Bulls specifically, like you know, you can say like, yeah, like go tell me what I don't know, it's like, let's just say Peyton Watson's doing on the Denver Nuggets, right? I don't know. I don't know enough about Peyton Watson or whatever. But if you're gonna tell me though, like you haven't done enough research on this Bulls player, I'm gonna counter you pretty quickly. Where I'm gonna show you like, hey, I think I have done my research. I've done my film watching. Where's yours? So sorry to do that to you. I'm not trying to be like I'm better than you. I'm just saying that you're saying that I'm not doing my work, and I'm like, I'm here showing you my work when it comes to this sort of stuff. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, when it comes to these sort of videos where I do take the time to like actually, you know, when I did the Buzelis breakdown, when I did Jalen Smith breakdown, like it takes a lot of time. Like, I don't just like pick plays. I'm like, oh, this is good. No, I actually like try to find games that like are like full games on YouTube, and I'll take the time to like look through of when they actually are in the game or not. Like this isn't just me like cherry picking. I do take the time to actually like really look through the games and like find where they do have their weaknesses at moments, and where they haven't played exactly great. But I try to find trends, right? One of the trends is like Giddey does this a lot, where he uses downhill speed to really try to get a step on his defender. The one thing that I will say the Bulls have not done with Giddey that Oklahoma City did a ton with Giddey. You know, let me bring up a basketball court chart thing. Come on, where is it? Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to find I had a specific website and it's not showing up here. Basketball. All right. All right, well, we'll just use this, I guess. Here, let me see if we can pull this up. Open. Okay, well, this is garbage. Whatever, fine. Here, I'll just zoom in really, very very close. So, the one thing that Oklahoma City did a lot of with Giddey, and so I'm going to use red for the Bulls here. So, JG is Josh Giddey. So, what Oklahoma City did a lot of was, when they didn't have Giddey bring it up the court a lot, they would actually put Giddey like in the post here. So like it's like the pinch post action where they put Giddey basically at the elbow, and you would watch Oklahoma City with like, you know, Lou Dort, or, you know, with all their great shooters. Like you would have like three guys over here. So I don't know, let's like take the 5 and then someone, or sorry, that's supposed to be a 3. That was a horrible 3. And then I'll just say point guard or whatever. So, you know, Giddey wasn't really playing point, but oh, sorry, hold on, erased it all. But you would watch what these guys would do all the time. Is like this guy would come over, set a screen, this guy goes up, and then back screen, and so you would have all this action, and so Giddey's with the basketball here, right? And so he would have the basketball and he would just like throw it in. So they would use Giddey's like good passing ability, but they didn't want him to always have to dribble the ball because his dribbling is not exactly the greatest thing in the world, right? But that sort of play is kind of like how they, like the Warriors would use like Draymond Green, right? Like you would have Draymond in the post, and Draymond's never looking to score in the post. He's not a scorer, right? But he's a fantastic passer. So you would have, you know, all this action going around Draymond, and so Draymond can just either, you know, you do the split action and you get Steph Curry open for a 3, or you just, you know, do a bunch of back cuts. And so with Giddey, a lot of the time, you would just see the Thunder put him there in like the high post action and just have him sit here with the basketball, so in this spot, and then the other side of the floor, the weak side, is just all this action just to try to get cut towards the basket. And with the Thunder 3-point shooting, it's pretty effective because everyone can shoot the 3 ball really well. So that's something that the Bulls have not done with Giddey yet. I also do think, though, that's something that Giddey probably wanted to get away from, right? Where Giddey was saying, like, I want the ball in my hands. It's just a little bit interesting just to watch, though, because Giddey, again, was not on the court when the Bulls made their initial, like their really good play at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Like, Giddey was not here, right? He wasn't on the court. And then we're seeing actually a lot of plays where Giddey is on the court where he's not the one bringing the ball up, right? So I'm like interested to see what Billy has in mind for him. Giddey obviously, like, he didn't play that many minutes tonight, and it's because the other lineup was actually playing pretty well. So it's gonna be like this interesting balance of like, okay, Josh, you know, we want to still use your passing, and you know, you're not exactly the greatest off-ball threat, so maybe we actually do run some sort of actions for you where you're not dribbling as much, but you're still, you know, the main decision maker, I guess. But if everything's just gonna be pick and roll with Giddey, I don't know how much, like, he's gonna have to really like improve himself as a scorer for that to be effective consistently, or else the defense is just not gonna look to try to go over and guard him consistently. So it's just on him. It's all on him to be this good enough scorer. And so him shooting those threes in the second half was good. Shoot more, please. When you're open, please shoot it. But this is a good start. Let's build on it moving forward. And obviously, there were a good amount of assists tonight that were other, you know, players kind of setting themselves up for an open pass. But I do think Giddey did a better balance compared to what we've seen in the preseason, where he had a lot of assists in preseason, but it was more of just like, oh, this guy moved here, so Giddey found him there. Like, it wasn't like he was creating the open shot. It was more so just he's passing to the open guy, whether it's a back cut or whatever. So this was a little bit better of a mix, in my opinion, tonight. But you know, like we always say with any sort of star player, whether it is with Kobe and his scoring, or if it is with Patrick Williams and his effort, it's all about consistency at the end of the day. He definitely needs to improve his shooting and defense. Yeah, he definitely does. I think defensively he will never get better. I'm not really concerned about that. But it's, to me, if he can shoot the 3 ball consistently, everything else will take care of itself. Like, the defense is going to have to come out and actually play him like hard on the pick and roll. They're going to be so worried about his 3-point shot that it's going to open up the screener. Like, it'll be a domino effect, in my opinion, if he's able to shoot the 3 ball. But that's a big if, right? I don't know that's going to happen. He only shot 1 3 against New Orleans, and he missed that 1 3, and I think he should have taken at least 4. So he can't just pick and choose when he's going to shoot the 3 ball. It has to be a consistent thing, because as you can see, everyone else on the team is just shooting the threes left and right. I guess not exactly against New Orleans, but I mean, tonight was a prime example. Like, everyone's just shooting 3 balls. Even if they're not really shooting it that well that night, they're still taking it, right? Io couldn't hit a shot from 3-point range, but he still took 5. So yeah, it's just this again, like I hate being the guy that's going to be critical of Giddey all year, but he's basically brought this upon himself, where he said, I don't want to play off the bench. I don't want to play the secondary role. I want the ball in my hands. So trade me to a spot where the ball is going to be in my hands. Okay, you're here now. You did not sign an extension, so we're going to watch every step that you take. If he wants this $30 million contract, or $30 million per year contract, then he has to play for it, right? We're gonna judge that. And so obviously right now, if I'm the Bulls, I'm not paying him $30 million a year. There's no way. I'm never doing that right now. But he can go out and actually go get that contract if he goes and plays well. So nights like tonight, you know, if he plays a little bit more minutes, then maybe instead of this being 17, 9, and 6, it's, you know, 20, 10, and 8, right? That's fine. Like, that's a good start. Now let's do that every night in and out. I don't know if he can do that though. That's a major question. Can he go out and average 18, 10, and 8 every single night? We're gonna have to find out. Man, is LA really gonna win against Phoenix, bro? Yikes, bro. This is, what the hell is happening here? Anthony Davis MVP season? LeBron's not even having that great of a game. What? It's just he's not like dominating in terms of scoring. We got Austin Reeves out here as the second scorer, with Anthony Davis still being Anthony Davis, I guess, from opening night. God, what is happening? All right, y'all. What time we got? Okay, perfect. So we went over this game. Obviously, I think the Bulls tonight, they faced a Bucks team that was not willing to play defense. So I don't know what the Bucks are doing. I have concerns about the Bucks moving forward. I won't lie. Major concerns about the Bucks moving forward. As a person that predicted they'll be in the 3 seed, I did not feel so great about that anymore after watching that. I know it's just game 2, but man, oh man, do they look lost defensively on the perimeter. They might need to make Giannis as like a perimeter defender or something, because that was crazy to watch tonight. Bulls are just getting open threes left and right. I don't know what the Bucks are doing tonight. So Bulls are 1-1. I thought they'd be 1-1 to start the season, but not this way. I thought it'd be the other way around, where the Bulls won against the Pelicans and then they lost against the Bucks. But here we are. So tomorrow the Bulls are gonna play against the Thunder, and this to me is like we'll see what happens, because this is gonna be a major test in my head. If the Bulls win this game, I'd be very shocked, and I'll be eating my words. Because then, you know, I said the Bulls will only win 31 games. Then if you're winning against this Thunder team, at home, second game of a back-to-back, this Thunder team did not play tonight, so they'll be fresh. Then yeah, I'll eat my words. But I think this is just kind of like a scheduled L, unfortunately. It is opening night though, so or I guess it's opening night for the United Center, so maybe there's a little bit something extra in terms of energy for the Bulls tomorrow. But I think this is just an L, unfortunately, off the bat. I think the Thunder are winning the championship this year, so I'd be shocked if the Bulls go out and win this game. But to me, what's going to be the biggest watch overall is, can the Bulls, first things first, though, let's pull up this Thunder game, but can the Bulls keep up with the Thunder in terms of shooting? The Thunder didn't really play great against the Nuggets, but the Nuggets played awful, and then the Thunder won. So the Thunder they didn't shoot it great at all, but we know that they're not going to shoot this bad. I mean, Homer went 0 for 5. Isaiah Joe is one of the best three-point shooters in the league, went 1 for 6. Like, that's not going to continue happening. So the Thunder obviously shot a lot of threes last year, had a high pace. So can the Bulls keep up with that this year? And just see if their offense can keep up with it. The Thunder defensively, though, in my opinion, with getting Caruso, and then whenever Hardenstein gets back, they've gotten better. So I question if the Bulls will have the offensive firepower to do so, because the defense is going to be really good. Lonzo will be playing tomorrow, so obviously Lonzo did not play tonight. So Lonzo will be playing tomorrow, so we'll see how he plays. Still on the minutes restriction. And so I think tonight was a good night to miss. So I'm fine that he missed tonight. And so he's going to go and play the United Center for the first regular season game in forever for him. at home. So go and cheer him on there. After that, though, so I just want to just get through the October stuff for the Bulls. So I said 1-4 at the end of October for the Bulls. I thought it would be this game though that they'd win, but they won this game. So things are weird. After the Thunder though, they go to Memphis, and the Bulls have just historically lost at Memphis no matter what. They just always seem to lose in Memphis. Even when the Memphis Grizzlies weren't playing great, like they would always just lose. So I think that's just an L in Memphis, unfortunately. But I won't lie, if the Magic have not figured out their crap in terms of their three-point shooting, and the Bulls kind of get hot from three against the Magic, I could see them winning that game maybe. I know the Magic played tonight against the Nets, if I'm not mistaken. So I just want to see how many threes they took tonight. Ah, interesting. Yeah, this will be the thing to watch with the Magic this year because they don't have enough shooting, in my opinion. I know they got KCP, which was huge, but it's on the others to also shoot enough 3-point shots. And this was interesting. So Banchero did not have the greatest game, it looks like, but Franz did. But in the opener for the Magic, it was kind of flipped, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, actually, Franz actually he kind of picked it up. I didn't realize that. Magic shot 49 threes in this game though, so we'll see. We'll see how many threes the Magic shoot against the Bulls, which will be a good test. Yeah, for me though, it's all about just for tomorrow because I do think this is an L. Which of course I said it was an L against the Bucks, but we won. It's all just about can the guys go out there and play their right game. Don't let the Thunder go out and completely get you out of your rhythm, right? You have to go out and still shoot the 3-point shots that we've been looking to shoot. You have to go out there and play fast. You have to go out there and try to get fast break opportunities. And if you don't get them, then you still got to run the right offense. So if the Bulls go out there and shoot like 4 for 40 from 3-point range, I'm fine with it. Like at least you went out and still played the correct way. But I won't be shocked if there are tired legs because back to back. So it's all about just trying to be as consistent as possible when it comes to this sort of stuff. But it'll be tough. So not expecting too much tomorrow, but as usual, post-game stream tomorrow. Same time, 9:30, or soon whenever the Bulls game does end. Bulls play at 7 p.m. Central Time, so be ready for that. Make sure your antennas are ready, and we will be welcoming Alex Caruso back to the United Center. So that'll be fun. Be shocked to be OKC. My apologies if I came across rude. I don't think you came across rude, Raz. So I don't think there's any need to apologize. My only thing is just that it's almost just kind of like if I almost kind of took it as like, let's say you went to Casey Johnson and said like, I don't think you cover the Bulls games. That's kind of the only thing. It's like whenever someone does call me want to call me out and say, I don't think you watched enough film or whatever, I'm just gonna respond by saying, where's your film breakdown, where's your streams? So I want to say I apologize for if I came across rude, because I do think that is somewhere where my ego does get inflated, and I do apologize for that. That is where I do think I do become egotistical, so I should not do that. So that is my fault. But I do want to I want to just make it clear, like I do think I put in a lot of work when it comes to this sort of stuff. So I do apologize if I was egotistical in that moment. I don't want to create that sort of environment here. This should be a place where everyone should just feel welcome to kind of say whatever. But just as when it comes to like with me, it's like if you think you're gonna call me out on something like that, then I'm like I don't want you to call anyone else in chat, right? Because I do think that a lot of us in chat watch the games and keep up with this more than anybody in terms of the NBA. So my apologies for my attitude. You're more than welcome here, though. I don't want you just to think like, oh, you're not welcome here anymore. Please feel welcome here, and feel free to always to contribute to chat. My fault though. That's my fault for getting upset. I do apologize. Sorry, I just want to quickly look at this because the Warriors have averaged 140 points in their first 2 games, which is just like what. So yeah, so the Warriors have scored 127 points, and I just want to quickly look at how many points they scored on Wednesday. 140. Oh my god, bro. Okay. I guess this hasn't fully updated, but dear lord. Okay, so they're averaging 133 points in the first 2 games. That's insane. 3-point attempts are through the roof. So, Viper Strike, you might be right. You might be right that maybe the league is a little bit scared, but I don't know. I love all the threes. I think this is good for the league. I know a lot of people are scared out of their pants about how many threes the Celtics are taking, and they're like, oh, we got to change the rule or whatever. I think it's good. Whenever people say like, oh, we're taking too many threes, I'm just like, well, your team should just shoot more. Get more shooters. Draft better, I guess. Because I think the Bulls have finally kind of taken that to heart. All right. That being said, though, before I do end stream, anything else, any sort of storylines we want to kind of go over before we end stream here? One thing I do want to talk about is that if Klay Thompson is going to look like the old Klay Thompson with the Mavericks, then I think the Mavericks are looking really, really solid. I already had the Mavericks as a 2 seed, but I did not have them go into the finals again this year. But if Klay Thompson's going to look like himself, then my God, that team is going to be so hard to stop when everyone's online. Because, man, Luka is not 100%, and he still is looking good, and Kyrie didn't even play that great in that game either. So if Klay Thompson looks like himself, Jesus. Oh, my God. That'll be interesting to just keep track of, because it's one game for Klay, and we've seen, he's had some good games, and then the next day he just, it's what happens when you get older. You can't play as consistent. James Wiseman he tore his Achilles, man. I felt so bad when I found this out. I was so wrong about James Wiseman, man. I thought this guy was going to come in and dominate the league, and he has not done that. He unfortunately has been pretty limited in terms of what he can do. So that's sad to see overall. Also, the other thing that did happen was DeJounte Murray actually fractured his hand against the Bulls. Yeah, I've seen some people talk about the play that it did happen. It seemed like Murray was guarding Giddey, and he hand checked Giddey. And they think that's where it happened, but they're not entirely sure. But man, for the Pelicans, this is rough for the Pelicans because I've already said that the Western Conference is going to be an absolute dogfight this season, and right off the bat, you lose your starting point guard that you traded for this offseason. That just doesn't feel good. Zion, obviously, did Zion come back today? I don't know did he come back today? I need to look at that. I know the Pelicans are playing at the moment, or maybe they just finished. Am I stupid? Oh, they just beat Portland. Okay. Zion did come back today. Okay, so Zion and BI are there with McCollum, so they still have those 3 guys, but you're missing your defensive point guard and DeJounte, who's obviously an all-star caliber player. So, that's gonna be interesting just to keep track of for the Pelicans, because they don't have Trey Murphy, right? Currently, that's a big loss too. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to just keep track of for this Pelicans team. They're 2-0 though, so they've kind of weathered through some of the storm, but I don't know about moving forward. How it's going to look for them. They played. Okay, gotcha. Celtics, OKC, and the Mavs look insane right now. Definitely hate seeing players getting injured. Yeah, I actually think that the Celtics. This is the thing with the Celtics that I'm just like, it's so insane just to think about. Porzingis is not playing, and they look this good. And I know it's just it's one game where they shot and almost broke the record for threes against the Knicks. And then the other game they faced against Washington. So it's not that impressive for the second game, but God almighty, man. I feel like Jaylen Brown could get injured for the Celtics, and I'm like, oh, they're fine. If they just keep shooting their threes consistently, then I think they're looking pretty solid. Yeah, I cannot believe how good the Celtics continue to look, even after winning the championship. It doesn't seem like they're falling too hard. I'm happy to see the Warriors though that they're 2-0 to start, because I made the bold prediction that the Warriors would be a 6 seed this year. I know a lot of people were like, what? But I mean, they faced Portland tonight, and then they faced Utah tonight. So not you had to win these 2 games, I guess. So it's not that impressive. But at least a better start. Okay, so tomorrow, obviously, we get the Bulls versus the Thunder, but Nuggets versus Clippers, that'll be interesting to watch, because Clippers don't have Kawhi still. Kings and Lakers, that's a good matchup. And then unfortunately, we do not get this game. How do we not get this game? For national television, it's on League Pass. That's insane to me. Yeah, that's that though. Kind of some stuff just to look around the league as we officially head into the season. But appreciate y'all being here tonight. We've had over 160 different viewers in the chat tonight, so I do appreciate all the support. Thank you for all checking in. If you're watching the VOD, I appreciate it. If you have not already, please hit the like button on the stream. Helps me out a ton. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow as the Bulls take on the Thunder to finish their or finish off this little 2-game stretch against some pretty rough, or 3-game stretch against some rough teams, and it'll be the home opener, so gonna be playing at home. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bulls win tonight. We're 1-1. We'll see if we can keep the pick though. I'm interested if we this win is making me a little bit scared about keeping the pick, but the Bucks look worse, man. The Bucks look a lot worse than I actually thought. Yeah, Bulls should lose tomorrow, but I'll be, somehow they'll win just because I said that they should lose tomorrow. All right, I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Peace out.